Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The world of Luria was breathtaking. A realm filled with vibrant skies painted in shades of violet and golden sunrises stretching across the horizon, casting warmth on the land interspersed with lush flora and shimmering bodies of water. Yet beneath this beauty lay shadows of oppression that marked Lyora's existence. She was an alien girl blessed with the ethereal gift of iridescence, her skin shimmering in vivid colors like precious jewels under sunlight, uniquely distinguishing her amidst her family, who had darker, muted shades. Proud, yet paradoxically insecure, Lyora embodied the struggle of her identity, an internal conflict of wanting to embrace her individuality while yearning for the acceptance and validation of her family. On the fateful day of her betrayal, her heart raced uncontrollably, mirroring the chaos of emotions swirling within her as she overheard hushed conversations that struck her like bolts of lightning. "She's too valuable to keep, and we need the credits." Her father's voice cut through the air coldly, dripping with disconnected greed. His words fell upon her ears like stones sinking into water, heavy and suffocating, transforming what had once been a semblance of normalcy into a nightmare from which she could not wake. The raw clash of feelings, betrayal, anger, and despair, battled fiercely within her, each emotion vying for dominance as she attempted to digest this gut-wrenching treachery from those she held dear. As dawn broke on the day of her auction, familial ties unraveled, leaving her exposed and vulnerable on the auction block. Fear shot through her like icy fingers as anxious breaths became shallow and rapid, the impending doom cloaking her in shadows. Waves of unfamiliar faces loomed before her, each one a mirrored abyss, their eyes gleaming with avarice as they evaluated her worth. Each raised bid felt like chains clinking into place, stripping her of her dignity and identity. Overwhelmed, she felt her throat constrict as she whispered, "Help me." Though even in her desperate pleading, the words felt futile amidst the cacophony of madness pressing against her. Tears brimmed in her iridescent eyes, cascading like rain as she fought to contain her sorrow. A battle that deepened her wounds. Flashbacks of family dinners, warm laughter, and fleeting moments of connection flooded her mind. A stark contrast to the cold reality of her betrayal. Each memory a reminder of her lost innocence. When her name was finally called, it felt like the final nail in her coffin. She braced herself for the inevitable, her heart sinking into a chasm of despair. The crowd's murmurs crescendoed into a monstrous roar. Each surge of sound felt like an affirmation of her worthlessness. Inwardly, Lyora swore to herself, "You will not hold me captive." She clung to her spirit, fighting against the urge to surrender to despair, determined to reclaim the pieces of herself that remained unbroken. The atmosphere at the auction was thick with tension, a palpable sense of malevolence wrapping around Lyora like a suffocating cloak as she stood on the stage, illuminated by flickering lanterns casting unsettling shadows over her. The auctioneer's voice rose and fell with authoritative power, a phantom summoning dark deals and endless suffering. Each number he shouted reverberated like a death knell in her ears, drowning her in despair. Among the throng of bidders stood Dylan, a human whose charisma and rugged features set him apart from the rest. His piercing blue eyes bore through the haze of anxiety, encasing Lyora, a glimmer of determination ignited by his anger against the injustice unfolding before him. Each moment that passed without intervening clawed at his conscience, driving him to find a way to be the change that was so desperately needed in this dark time. When their glances met across the chaotic sea of faces, an electric connection ignited between them. Something profound and breathtaking that transcended the binds of their circumstances. In that heartbeat, Lyora felt a spark of hope. A courageous flame flickering to life in her chest, wrestling against the despair. "I can't let this happen," Dylan muttered under his breath, fierce resolve rising within him. With a fierce determination, he raised his hand, breaking through the cacophony of shouts surrounding them. 1,000, he declared, his voice cutting through the noise with authority, demanding attention. The shocked murmurs rippled through the crowd like a gust of wind, and Leora felt her gratitude swell, a lifeline thrown amidst the tempest. As the bidding war escalated, Leora's spirit soared. A fragile yet undeniable sense of liberation began to unfurl within her breast. With each raised bid, Dylan's passionate resolve began to knit a thread of connection between them, intertwining their fates in a way that kindled something deeper within Leora's heart. "I'm worth more than this," she thought fiercely, channeling determination as she imagined shaking off the chains that sought to bind her. Dylan's intense confidence shone in his eyes as he maneuvered through the rising stakes. He saw her as more than just an object. He saw Leora, the strong-willed survivor, not merely the victim of his society's monstrous machinations. Their connection deepened further with each exchanged bid, charging the air between them with untapped power, a testament to vulnerability battling against the harsh realities of their intertwined existences. As his bids continued and the stakes rose higher, Leora felt a rush of unmistakable gratitude, warmth, pooling inside her. She needed this chance for freedom. She needed someone who cared enough to act. And in that moment of urgency, she found something she had long thought lost. Though her future remained uncertain, Dylan's fierce resolve had kindled a flame deep within her that would not be easily extinguished. Dylan's heart raced as he made the final audacious bid, a challenge that resonated through the auction hall and beyond, drowning out the din of chaos that surrounded them. "Sold!" The auctioneer's gavel echoed sharply, snapping the reality into focus. A harsh reminder that Leora's fate had shifted. This moment marked her transition from a mere object of trade to a being worthy of freedom, igniting a fire of determination within her. As she stepped off the auction block into the embrace of uncertainty, anxiety and exhilaration clashed within her, creating a tempest of conflicting emotions. "Come with me," he urged softly, his hand reaching for hers. A spark shot through her as their fingers intertwined, igniting feelings previously suppressed beneath layers of fear and hopelessness. Dylan pulled her into the shadows of the back alleys, urgency propelling them forward as the thrill of possibility surged in the air. "Stay close," he instructed, contrasting an air of authority and fierce protectiveness. Leora nodded, her heart pounding like a drum, exhilaration coursing through her veins as they raced toward an uncertain future together. Their escape was a whirl of adrenaline, each heartbeat echoing the sound of danger closing in around them. The distant shouts of the slavers grew louder, merging with the sound of their heavy footsteps echoing behind them. "Keep going," Dylan urged, urgency weaving his words together as he tugged Leora deeper into the labyrinth of the city. As they navigated the tangled web of alleys, the adrenaline surged within Leora like rapid fire, a cocktail of freedom and terror swelling until it almost felt intoxicating. Just as they rounded a treacherous corner, a dark figure materialized in their path, dead set on blocking their escape. "This way," Dylan shouted with fierce determination, pulling her toward a dimly lit warehouse, a sanctuary amidst looming threats. They stumbled inside, breathless and desperately hoping they'd evaded capture just in time. The sanctuary offered them both refuge and the promise of safety, albeit temporarily. As they collapsed in the sanctuary, hearts pounding fiercely and breathless from the audacious escape, Leora looked up at Dylan, a storm of gratitude and awe swirling in her gaze. "You saved me," she whispered, emotions spilling forth as they washed over her. "We saved each other," he replied, breathing heavily yet smiling in disbelief. They stayed close, a camaraderie budding beneath the weight of their ordeal, with the warmth radiating between them transcending the cold, hard floors of the warehouse. In that small moment of reprieve amid their chaotic lives, they found solace in each other's shared laughter, an unspoken acknowledgement that they were now more than just two people caught in a turmoil of unfortunate circumstances. They were comrades, allies, and perhaps something even deeper. The warehouse was a stark contrast to the vibrant landscapes of Luria. An abandoned relic, dimly lit and hauntingly beautiful. Yet it offered the glimmers of a sanctuary where secrets could be whispered and hope could start anew. Dust motes danced aimlessly in the shadows as Lyora inhaled deeply, the scent of aged wood and cabin air wrapping around her like an embrace. Here, she could finally breathe, gradually reclaiming her sense of self in a world filled with uncertainties. Dylan struck a small fire, igniting a flicker of warmth that illuminated the dire corners threatening to overwhelm them. The flames danced in a wild, unpredictable rhythm, highlighting their features and casting playful shadows as they huddled together. Lyora took a moment to feel the heat, letting it seep deep into her bones, where it melted the remnants of worry. "What's your name?" she asked, breaking the silence that enveloped them. The echo of her uncertainty laden with curiosity about this man who had placed his life on the line for hers. "Dylan," he replied, glancing her way with a smile that conveyed warmth more potent than the fire they shared. "And you?" "Lyora," she answered, savoring the sound of her name intertwined with his, a sound that felt like an incantation, magical and brimming with promise. As they shared a meager meal who had escaped with them, laughter and banter filled the air, resonating in the stillness like sweet music, easing the tension held tightly in their chests. "So, what's next for our brave Lyora?" he teased, eyes sparkling mischief as they exchanged smiles, an unspoken understanding blossoming between them in that fragile moment. "I think I'd rather not be sold off again," she shot back playfully, yet her heart beat rapidly, feeding the unyielding resolve fiercely tattooed on her soul. Yet buried beneath the laughter were unshakable fears. She ventured cautiously into the depths of her uncertainty, her voice dipping low. "What if they find us?" she murmured, anxiety creeping along her skin like a distant shadow. "They won't," Dylan promised, the firmness in his words wrapping around her like armor. He brushed a loose strand of hair behind her ear, allowing his fingers to linger just long enough for her to feel the connection simmering behind their casual exchanges. The warmth of his hand ignited something within her, a flicker of light in the encroaching darkness. With each shared moment, deeper layers of their personalities emerged, revealing shared perfumes of hope and despair, the complexities that bound them. It felt like forging something precious, an understanding crafted from the jagged shards of their pasts. Lyora felt a weight lift as her heart thudded to the rhythm of their laughter, thrilling in the knowledge that she was not alone anymore. Days drifted into nights as Lyora and Dylan built their sanctuary within the warehouse, steadily nurturing a blossoming connection. Each moment spent together forged an unbreakable thread of companionship, a tapestry that celebrated resilience, laughter, and pain engaged in a delicate waltz. One serene evening, they sat by the fire wrapped in comfortable silence as flames danced brightly, casting flickers of warmth across their faces. Something shifted within Lyora. She felt a compulsion to share her truth. "You know, I always felt so confined by my family's expectations," she began, her voice quaking slightly yet resolute. "It felt as if I was trapped in a mold, one that didn't fit me, and now I feel utterly lost, like I don't belong anywhere." Dylan leaned in closer, his focus unwavering as he absorbed her vulnerability. "You're not defined by what they wanted you to be, Lyora," he articulated tenderly. "What you are, what you possess, is a symphony of strength and resilience, and it's profoundly beautiful." Tears brimmed in her bright eyes, reflecting the flickering glow of the fire as she absorbed his words. The sheer vulnerability she had previously clung to began to melt away, dissipating in the warmth of Dylan's heartfelt affirmation. "Sometimes, it's hard to accept that I even have value left," she confessed, the raw honesty unfurling in the space they had erected through shared experience. "You're not alone anymore," he reassured, gripping her hand firmly, his warmth infusing her with purpose. It was an unspoken knowledge, a vow of camaraderie forged amid heartache, blossoming into profound trust. With the fire crackling gently beside them, the intimacy deepened. Lyora felt the growing electric pulse between them, a bridge connecting their uncharted territories. Hearts beating in rhythm amid anchored certainty, fortifying their spirits against the turmoil that once defined them. "Thank you for saving me," she whispered, overwhelmed by emotions as the flickering flames brightened with each heartbeat. In an impulsive moment, their lips met. A kiss infused with longing and tenderness, an exploration of orchestrating their connection as it transcended the pain of their pasts. It became a shared promise, sealing their commitment to each other amid the chaotic storm surrounding them. In that instant, the world outside faded away, a sanctuary crafted just between them. Each heartbeat intertwined their stories, two souls merging into one vibrant tapestry, resonating with renewed strength and hope for the future ahead. As days transformed into tangible experiences, Lyora and Dylan continued to strengthen their connection. Every shared laugh reverberated in their hearts, rich tapestries woven with threads of companionship, vulnerability, and unwavering resolve. On a night where the air hummed with serenity, they settled beneath a blanket of stars, the cosmos unfolding around them like a vast field where dreams danced free. Dylan turned to Lyora, the glow from the fire illuminating his face. "What do you dream of, Lyora?" Uncertainty flickered briefly before she welcomed it, her voice steady. "I dream of pursuing exploration, discovering distant worlds and realms beyond the horizon," she shared, a soft splendor alighting her features. "I want to dance under alien moons, swim in the oceans of planets unseen, and perhaps find a love worth fighting for." Dylan listened attentively, his gaze sincere, admiration reflected in the depth of his eyes. "You deserve all that and more," he affirmed, an engaging warmth that tangled effortlessly into her spirit. As their dreams spilled into the cool night air, they iced their hopes together like pieces of a puzzle, illuminating a future textured by vibrancy and love. Lyora felt liberated, unshackled from the chains of anguish that had held her back for so long. But as the thrill of shared dreams enveloped them, lurking fears crept into the edges of her heart, a grim reminder of the danger still trailing behind them. "What if our pasts hunt us down?" she whispered, the anxiety twisting in her throat. "We will face it together," he reassured, the intensity of his gaze helping fortify her trembling resolve. In that moment, the world outside faded into obscurity. Each breath she took mingled with warmth, the strength of his presence grounding her. As the flicker of the fire danced around them, the moment thickened with possibility, palpable and electric. Lyora leaned in and kissed Dylan, a tentative exploration that ignited a passionate flame between them, as uncertainty begot warmth and familiar tenderness. With every heartbeat, their lips entangled, free from past burdens, eager for the promise of a shared future. The kiss served as a vessel of reassurance, a testament to their burgeoning love, their worlds colliding beautifully, daringly, as they pledged to face whatever challenges awaited them. Their once serene life began to unravel as ominous whispers of danger lingered. News of a runaway alien girl spread like wildfire among the slavers, and with increased vigilance, dread seeped into their shared sanctuary. Each ticking moment weighed heavily on Lyora's heart, tainting their joyful laughter with the unsettling reminder that they were living on borrowed time. One fateful afternoon, as the sun began its descent, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, Dylan's voice broke the fragile calm. "We need to move." "They're looking for you," he urged, urgency etched in the fine lines of his face. An icy chill followed his words, creeping down Lyora's spine as clarity settled heavily in her chest. "What if they find us?" she whispered, panic quaking in her voiced uncertainty. "Then we fight together," he vowed, the conviction in his words anchoring her drifting heart. The impending sense of danger loomed, but her fear began to dissolve in the wake of his resolve. As twilight descended upon them, they ventured out into the darkening night, shadows moving like voracious spirits, ready to consume them whole. Lyora's heart raced as they navigated the city, anxiety lending a palpable edge to the air surrounding them. Suddenly, voices shouted behind them, their echoes piercing the veil of night. "This way," Dylan exclaimed, a commanding urgency prompting her to move faster. They charged through forgotten pathways, the echoes of their frantic footsteps filled with adrenaline, a thrilling dance against the lurking threats awaiting them. Drawing closer to a dim-lit doorway of an abandoned building, they squeezed inside, breathless with urgency. As they barricaded the door, their breaths tangled as they shared moments of desperate adrenaline, hearts racing in unison against the chaos pressing in. "What now?" Leora gasped, her chest rising and falling as the chaos outside pressed against their sanctuary. "We need to stay quiet and listen," Dylan instructed. The tension of the moment hung heavy, reinforcing the connection they had forged, a bond created amidst chaos and hope. As the clamor of pursuit echoed outside, fear coiled tightly in Lyora's gut, but amid it, something more profound emerged. An unwavering sense of purpose born from the fierce and unbreakable connection she shared with Dylan. Together, they had formed a fortress against the impending storm, ready to face whatever challenge lay ahead. Time slowed within the confines of the dim shelter, shadowed forms gathering just outside their retreat, voices of danger looming ominously as the slavers drew closer, hungry for revenge. Leora's heart raced, each thunderous beat amplifying the oppressive silence that engulfed them. "We can't let them take you," Dylan whispered, his breath warm and steady against her ear, providing solace amid the impending chaos. When the door rattled violently, dread enveloped Lyora, coiling tightly around her heart. "Stay behind me," Dylan instructed, pivoting to shield her as dark shapes breached the threshold, cutting through the light like shadows intent on reclaiming what had been lost. "You won't take her," Dylan roared, stepping forward with fierce determination. Lyora's breath hitched at the raw courage emanating from him. He stood strong against the tidal wave of chaos, embodying the spirit of survival that thrummed between them. Empowered by his bravery, Lyora found her voice rising alongside his as she took a bold step forward. "Enough, enough," she declared, her voice unwavering as she confronted her captors. The moment felt like the pivot from shadows to potential light, a declaration that she was no longer a victim but a warrior. She drew forth her innate energy, a brilliant light blooming from within like a supernova erupting in the night. The illumination enveloped the room, stunning the slavers, their jeers twisting into gasps of disbelief and fear as they staggered back, blinded. With vision clearing and resolve strengthening, Dylan seized the opportunity, rushing alongside her with unyielding spirit. Their hearts raced in rhythm, a dance of survival that melded with the vibrant energy exploding around them. Together, they confronted the darkness that sought to smother them. "We will not be broken," Leora exclaimed, her voice ringing with the clarity of undeniable truth as she liberated herself from the chains of despair. The fight morphed into a powerful demonstration of love, an invasion of light against all that threatened to suppress them. Each swing and blow ignited the air around them. A storm of rebellion brewed from the ashes of their shared pain, the resonance of their unity transforming the battle into a breathtaking testament of their resilience. A palpable sense of hope surged within them, propelling them toward freedom against the odds stacked against them. As the last remnants of struggle faded into the night, Lyora and Dylan emerged, victorious yet transformed from the tumultuous showdown. They stepped into the cool embrace of the night, breathing deeply, as the sense of freedom, earth, and the remnants of their battle filled the evening air. The stars twinkled like jeweled promises scattered across an indigo canvas, whispering tales of adventures yet to be discovered. "We did it," Leora breathed, disbelief and joy cascading through her as wonder illuminated her features. The thrill of their shared triumph washed over her like a warm tide, heightening the weight of their well-deserved victory. Together, Dylan affirmed, entwining their fingers as they forged ahead across the path of uncertainty. They had carved a new identity, a shared journey where laughter mingled with hope, where dreams began to unfold before them like the petals of a blossoming flower. In the aftermath of their victory, they spent countless hours dreaming, exploring, and reminiscing about experiences they had missed. With each laugh, they salved old wounds, creating a new foundation infused with love and ambition. "I want to explore uncharted territories, visit unknown worlds, and unearth the hidden treasures of this universe," Leora proclaimed, her excitement alive. "And I want to build a life with you in it," Dylan added earnestly, sincerity woven into his every word. As their futures collided, vibrant dreams sprouted like seedlings breaking through the soil, bursting forth with beauty, each moment cherished and shared, woven into the fabric of camaraderie that painted their life anew. Staring into the horizon had never looked so promising. It was a blank canvas upon which they could paint their new beginnings. Labyrinthine adventures and unyielding love poured brightly like hues of the sunrise. "This is our life now," Leora whispered, hope illuminating her gaze, aggressively battling shadows from their past. Amidst the joys of newfound freedom, they leaped toward fresh opportunities, embracing the life they had fought for and earned. Time expanded before them, filled with countless possibilities. Each journey a stepping stone toward an extraordinary future, rich with love. As the seasons turned, Leora and Dylan journeyed hand in hand, exploring the stunning landscapes of their shared world. From vibrant cities pulsating with energy to tranquil shores kissed by rebellious waves. Each new experience was a brushstroke upon the canvas of their shared life, coloring it with laughter, warmth, and the thrilling promise of love as they navigated their collective adventure. One enchanting evening, standing at the edge of a cliff, they gazed out at the endless expanse of the ocean as the sun began to dip beneath the horizon. The sky exploded in a kaleidoscope of colors. Crimson, gold, and violet mingled together, enveloping them in a warmth reminiscent of the fireside, the world inviting them into eternity. "This is a breathtaking view," Leora breathed, enthralled by the vividness of the landscape, feeling the salty air caress her skin, wrapping them in the embrace of the infinite ocean beyond. Dylan turned to her, his presence illuminating the moment. "Not as beautiful as you," he replied, sincerity saturating every syllable, filling the spaces between them with palpable warmth. Leora felt her cheeks flush with affection. In his soft gaze lay love and promise, igniting every fiber of her being with undeniable certainty. As twilight deepened, stars began to twinkle overhead, monumental and unyielding, silent witnesses to promises exchanged beneath their celestial gaze. "Together," Leora whispered, a solemn vow wrapped within the freedom of their shared convictions, reaffirming the strength of their bond. "Forever," Dylan echoed, the intensity of his promise penetrating the fabric of their new lives. They began to speak of dreams and possibilities, the adventures that awaited them. With every whisper of hope, they created an eternal tapestry painted with the beauty of shared purpose. They sealed their promises with a kiss, lingering against the backdrop of starlight. A kiss that held all the unspoken words of adoration and fearlessness that had brought them together. As their lips met, eternity beckoned, an unfolding saga rooted in compressed time, where each heartbeat resonated with determination and longing, with the horizon in front of them encapsulating the essence of their journey. They turned together, hand in hand, ready to embrace the future that awaited them. United in love and purpose, they took their first step into the unknown, their fates intertwined as they forged a life filled with hope, beauty, and infinite adventure.